merger between Vienna-based Bwin Entertainment and PartyGaming is set to create the world's largest listed online gaming firm. This week at the European Parliament, I caught up with Bwin co-CEO Norbert Teufelberger and talked to him about the merger, his plans for the US market, and Michel Barnier's green paper. First of all, congratulations on your impending merger with PartyGaming. It was a union that took several years to happen. What was it that finally convinced both sides that it might or ought to go ahead?
I believe it's definitely the operating environment, the change from .com world to a .national world, the reality starting in Europe now, the opportunities outside of Europe, the need for size, the need to control its own technology. That drove the deal primarily. Both companies had several options. We looked at several options individually for a year and a half, and both companies at the end believed that our deal gives us the basis to capitalize on the opportunities which are ahead of us.
You mentioned scale as an underlying reason for the merger. Clearly scale is going to be vital if the US market regulates. What are your expectations for a poker-only bill this year, and how will the US market look?
The US is obviously at a point right now where there is a chance that we may see federal legislation even in this session. It will very much depend on the outcome of the Nevada elections. If they're going the way the industry expects it to go, there is a chance that federal legislation may pass. Then again, if it happens and it passes, there will still be a period, as we hear, about 15 months, where all operators have time to prepare. There are certain protectionist elements in the law, as we have seen it. That means for European operators that we will need a US partner. We are in discussion with several US partners and preparing ourselves for the opening. If it happens, it will be fierce competition, there no doubt about it. But at least regulation, at least in poker, is a first step towards also potentially other products. So we are also looking potentially casino further down the road, and even sports betting, maybe in a few years in the US.
Bwin recently announced a sponsorship deal for the Portuguese Football League, less than 2 years after the ECJ blasted your previous sponsorship deal. What's changed in the European landscape since that time?
Ultimately, legally, not too much changed since 2003, since the Gambelli verdict. Everybody believes that the ECJ is coming with new verdicts. The Santa case was a very particular case, and what it really said is that it's not automatically allowed to operate under one European license in another member state. It never really ruled on the coherence of the Portuguese operator in Portugal. Now, we believe, and our legal team believes, this is still outstanding. We are quite confident after the last ruling, which again said you need to be coherent. Now, is it coherent that the Portuguese operator operates very aggressive, advertises very aggressively, but tries to shut down its market? We don't think that's coherent. So we were being asked by the league to help them out. We did that. We still try to find a solution amicably in Portugal. We are confident that also Portugal will move into opening its market, as other member states are starting to do at that point. But legally, not really has changed. A lot has changed, and actually there's too much expectations towards the ECJ to make new rulings. There won't be, because we believe the rulings are already there. We just need to act accordingly.
Well, we're here in Brussels one day after Michel Barnier, the Internal Markets Commissioner, confirmed his plans for a green paper to study the European gambling market. Now, do you think, is that going to be a snapshot that's taken too late after, given the rate of change in the market and the openings of markets like Portugal you're talking about?
It's never too late, but it obviously comes at the right moment now. And it's nevertheless, let's not fool ourselves, it's going to be a very long, drawn-out moment. We're having a conference here in the Parliament right now, and we just heard Mr. Berger talking about it, that there is the need for harmonization, but effectively it will take years, 5, 6, 7 years to happen. So what really will happen, most likely first, is that each member state will look at it and potentially open the market. The question will be how will they open it, and will it be done in a coherent, systematic way? And it would be easier if we had European guidelines, but the fact is that most likely we have to see member state by member state opening its market up.
Can I just focus on one European market in particular, Greece? Bwin's already quite prominent in that market, and it's almost like France was 2 years ago for Bwin. What are your expectations of the way that market will regulate?
Well, we are involved in talks with the Greek government at that point. What we are trying to look for is the same as we're looking for in every other country, that access to those licenses will be fair, that it will be non-discriminatory, and we'll see whether that happens or not. If it's done in a fair way, and we have demonstrated it at Bwin that whenever we had an opportunity to go onshore, we did. We will try to do that as well in Greece, and we'll see whether we'll have the opportunity to do so. If we don't have the opportunity to do so, we will need to challenge Greek law in the European circumstances. So we'll see how it's going to work out.
So it's back to the ECJ once again?
Hopefully not, but obviously if we have no other choice, we will challenge.
Norbert, thank you very much.